start to finish, bro. Don't overthink anything, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daddy on me. Daddy on me.
What is good, YouTube, man? How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? We have made it to the weekend. Shout out to everybody in here, man. It is officially my weekend, and I am here to start off and kick off this weekend with some Raiders news. And I really wanted to give us a first look, right, on what this defense can really look like, because I feel like we got some greatness in the making. We got some defenses here that could really dominate our opponents in this 2022/2023 season. But really quick, you already know I had to give a roll call to everybody already in here. We got Renato in the building, Brad, Blue King, Swin, Mr. Raider, Aaron Diaz, Bam Bad, Thor was cracking, Mr. Raider, Valerie, what's up? Brad again, Graham, who else? Cash Lord was good, Daniel, KJGC, we got Snoops in the building, Vro was popping, Raider Cortez, Sean Mudville, we got everybody in the building tonight, man. Shout out to everybody. We got Sergio, we got Raider Zach, we got Nathan, we got Kenny, Raider for life, Raider 805. Listen, we got a lot of people tapping in, man. Shout out to everybody who pulled in tonight, because look, I want to give you guys the first look at this defense, right? And I have some visuals here. I just got home from work, man, decided to make this visual for you guys so that you could really see what the Raiders are working with when coming into this next season, what packages we could use. I have the nickel package. I got our base 3-4. I also have a dime package in there that we may see when we face pass-heavy teams like KC and the Chargers, right? So I got a lot of stuff done right before I head on to this live. So I'm really happy. It makes my day, man, that we already got over 70 people in the building with just 2 minutes, right? So appreciate you guys and all the love you show. We got Jesse Guzman in here. Who else? We got Raider Antic, Valerie Lucky, Blazin, Garel, Vro in the building. So look, really quick, I want to ask you guys something. Is visual something that you would like to see more from me when I'm talking about football, when I'm breaking down football? For those of you guys who aren't new to the channel, you guys know I had a Raiders Chalk Talk series. Do you guys want the visuals? Do you like the visuals when I'm explaining the X's and O's of football, right? Me and Wasted, we cracked off the season, we cracked off the film breakdown show, and we're doing the X's and O's, right? So we have that, we have the visuals, we have the gameplay, right? And this here, let me just throw the visuals up on the screen really quick so that you guys can really see what I'm talking about, right? So right here, we have ourselves our classic nickel. As you can see on the top left, you see it. It's the classic nickel. This is something that, you know, when Josh McDaniels first got introduced, he mentioned, right? You know, the whole thing with the defenses now, it's no longer 3-4-4-3. It's more just like your sub. It's more your 4-2-5. 4-2-5 is, you know, the nickel. That's just a variation of your nickel defense. It's the most common, so this is why I made this visual for you guys to see. Now, as you can tell, we have some recent acquisitions here on the defense. I do think that some guys will start right away. You know, we have Duron Harmon at the safety position. So you have Duron Harmon, Trayvon Merrick on the left of on your screen. You also see Rocky Sin. Now, in my opinion, I have Averett here starting in the nickel, right? He's coming off his best season of his career, and Trayvon Mullen is going to have to transition once again into a new defense, right? So it's going to be a little bit different, right? I do have a defense here where Mullen is starting, so don't get too worried about that. I already see Bro in the chat tripping on me, but it is what it is. Shout out to OG, and it seems like you guys do want the visuals, so I will most definitely keep this going. If you guys really like it, if you guys truly like the visuals, let me know, man, and I will keep doing them. And later on, once we get closer to the draft, I'll start to do a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. The thing is, with the offense and making visuals, there's so many more formations on offense, right? So it's a little bit more complex. But I love doing defense. Defense is my bread and butter. I absolutely love it. So this is why I brought this to you guys today. The beater was good, bro. Was good with you, Robert. We got Valerie. Congrats, BB2 says. Oh, what happened to BB? BB in the chat. He says, I had a football game and won 44-6, 4 sacks. Shout out to you. We need to have you on this defense, man. Shout out to my brother. So we got some stuff here in the building. Shout out to everybody that's in here. No, yeah, I have Averett here. It's easily interchangeable, but I really wanted to throw as many new faces on the defense so that you guys can see as possible, right? So let's get straight into it, right? For those you guys can see, you guys should be able to see my mouse here. Just to break it down, right? You have your free safety here, Trayvon Merrick. Honcho was good with you, my man. We got Duron Harmon in here. Duron Harmon recently acquired. It's kind of different, right? It's a little bit unsure if Duron Harmon will start. With having Duron Harmon being signed, he has started his last 2 years, whether it was in Detroit or Atlanta. Duron Harmon has started, right? And his best days are clearly past him. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that has tons and tons of experience. And I forget who said it, but it was pretty clear to me the way that it was put, right? Duron Harmon can be the Casey Hayward of this year, right? He could be that vet that maybe he's a little bit 2 steps behind in terms of athleticism, but he's 5 steps forward in terms of the knowledge of the game of football, right? So that's very, very useful, especially when you're trying to learn and explain a new defense to all these young cats that you just brought in. So you have Duron Harmon here at the strong safety position. Obviously, this very well could change in the draft. Now, obviously, you have to have Nate Hobbs here without a doubt. And the reason why I have Jayon Brown and Divine Diablo starting in the nickel package is because your nickel is most likely going to be against teams that like to pass the ball heavy, right? So with the nickel, you want to have your most athletic linebackers out there, guys that can really get out into space and have the best chance in covering all these fast, twitchy slot receivers and tight ends, right? So you have Jayon Brown, you got Divine Diablo starting as your 2 linebackers in the nickel set. You also have Anthony Averett with Rocky Sin starting on the outside. And then you have your main man. You have your main man right here, Nate Hobbs. He could kind of do it all. He could kind of do it all, right? And at the end of the day, you guys, this could very much change and for the better, right? Let's say the Raiders land a honey badger and you could put the honey badger here. The defense looks even better, right? But, as we know, we just re-signed nose tackle Jonathan Hankins right here. I got him starting on this year's defense 100%, depending on what we do in the draft. So we'll see. We also have Bilal Nichols here at the 3 tech spot when we are playing our, base, our 4-2-5 when we're in our nickel. It's going to lean towards being our base in the season. That's just how I feel. But technically our base is a 3-4, but I think that overall we'll see this more than when we see a 3-4 defense, right? And obviously you have Chandler Jones and Max Crosby starting at your 2 edge positions. Easy as that, right? You have your 2 standout rushers playing on the outside. Bilal Nichols should be able to really, really, really have a lot of success having 2 10+ sack guys on the opposite sides of each other, right? So very, very interesting to see that. But, like I said, this is just something to put up there. This is something that can very well change. We have a lot of money that we can mess with in June. We have more money that we can just make, whether it's extensions or contract negotiations and maybe people getting cut, this, that, and the third. So there's more ways to make money. Money is not a problem for the Las Vegas Raiders. At this point, it's just making sure that we got the best 11 guys on the field, right? So your nickel defense, this is most likely what it'll look come day one, if not like some big changes. Maybe a Calais Campbell changes some things. Obviously, a Stephon Gilmore or a Tyrann Mathieu would change some things, but this could be very, 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 very close to what we'll see coming day one. So let's leave it at that. Now, I do want to show you guys something because I actually don't know how long this live will be. I just kind of wanted to throw this up there, and for the people that are in here, I want you guys to see this with me. But check this out, right? On the next slide, I have the visuals of our base 3-4, right? This is a base 3-4. Looks a little bit different, right? Now you have Denzel Perryman in. Now you have Jonathan Abram in. You no longer have Jayon Brown. And the reason why I have Jonathan Abram in at the weak side linebacker spot is because he can help a lot when it comes to the run. He can help a ton, right? This is a guy that had over 110 tackles for the Raiders this last season. Again, you still have Deron Harmon and Trayvon Merrick up top, just because we don't really know what these guys or what our safety is coming this season. So we'll see. Maybe we draft a Verone McKinley, a Nick Cross or something like that, a Brandon Bolden. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But at the end of the day, this should be pretty similar in what we're seeing right here in front of us, right? So we have our guy Jonathan Abram down in the box, close to the line of scrimmage, so he can really bully those smaller guys when they're in condensed formations, right? You have these bunch formations, you have these stacked formations where they're putting receivers on top and very close to the line of scrimmage, and I feel like Jonathan Abram will be able to bully them. Now, this could easily be interchanged. You could then swap Abram with Diablo, and then you could put Jayon Brown in the middle of the park with Denzel Perryman. So you could do that as well. You also have Chandler Jones right here on the outside. He will be rushing. All of these four guys will be rushing. The only one that wouldn't be rushing would be Jonathan Abram. He would not be rushing. Other guys would have certain assignments. Now, it just depends. It really just depends. And this is a 3-4 edge /5 technique. That's what we're used to, right? That's what we're used to when it comes to these 3-4s. You have Bilal Nichols. He played over 285 snaps at this position just last season, right? Max Crosby, I don't really see Max Crosby as an outside linebacker, so I do think that Patrick Graham will put him at this position here. It's probably the best place for him to succeed. It's probably the best position for him to succeed. So we'll see with that. I see Kenny saying, "Where's Hobbs?" It's not the nickel, but this very well could change if he beats out everybody in the camp, right? We heard McDaniel say that he'll get a chance to visit that outside and compete at all cornerback positions. So Nate Hobbs can very, very easily come in here and take one of these outside corner jobs. I really just want him to stay in that slot where he could really excel. I mean, I think we're forgetting that Nate Hobbs was graded the best nickel corner amongst all slot corners in the NFL, I believe, or maybe it was just rookies, but overall, that's pretty damn good. So you got this going on. Chandler Jones, Nichols, and Hankins, as well as Max Crosby, they will all be rushing the passer. Now, you could also do a lot of things out of this. Like you can switch this into a cover 4. You can switch this into a cover 4, and now you have him going deep. You have him going deep. These two guys going deep. Now there's a blanket over the top. You can't do anything. You can't pass the ball deep. Now there's a lot more stress on these guys here. You would then have to ask Chandler Jones to drop into coverage, maybe cover the flats a little bit. These two guys would then go into hook the curls. You would also have Jonathan Abram. You'd have Jonathan Abram covering the flats. So that's something to look at as well. Now, you have to have Jonathan Hankins here. I don't really think that you could start Kyle Peko, but if he has to start, it is what it is. Now, you most definitely want these two guys here. Now, if you want a premier run stopping group, then what you could do is then take out Bilal Nichols and put in Cleveland Ferrell. Now, there will be times in this season when we're gonna see Bilal Nichols, get put to the sideline for a little bit and have Cleveland Ferrell start here. Maybe when we play teams like Cleveland or Indianapolis, right? These teams that are extremely, extremely run heavy, we'll see that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see that as well. But a lot of these guys are interchangeable. Right? If you wanted a 5-man rush. You can then take out Jonathan Abrams, put Malcolm Kuntz in, and you can have a 5-man rush here. It'd be pretty easy to interchange that, right? That's just one substitution. Kuntz comes on, Abram comes off. You then can run a nice little a cover two with a 5-man rush, right? You'd have Kuntz off the edge, Chandler off the edge, these 3 guys rushing in the interior, and then you can have Rocky Ya-Sin and Averett playing that zone on the cover 2. Then you'd have these 2 guys sharing the top halves. Gustavo says, why would Crosby play nose? This is not the nose. It says 3-4 edge 5 technique. That's not the nose. That's Jonathan Hankins. That's Jonathan Hankins. This was good, Ace. Yeah, shout out to Honcho. He says, how are you feeling about Vernon Butler? Personally, I'm not a big fan. Of Vernon Butler at all. We'll definitely see, but I'm not really a fan. I really like Peko over him, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, right? It's better than having to have fucking what's his name on the field, Andrew Billings. And Andrew Billings is no bum, but at the same time I still think that he's a little bit better. Nichols over Klee at 5 technique. When we are in our base 3-4, we will definitely see what's going on here, but at the end of the day, right, we could see potentially see Clelin Ferrell start in that spot, right? Or what you could also see is Max Crosby get moved to this outside position and rush, and you could put Clelin Ferrell where Max Crosby is, right? You could do a lot of stuff with this. And I really feel like this is why all these NFL organizations have been moving on and moving towards this style of defense, because overall it's a lot more versatile. It's easier to move around. It's easier to show different coverages. Just think of it. All it takes out of a too high cover look in a base 3-4, all it takes is for Trayvon Merrick to then pop up. You got these guys coming outside, and then you have your strong safety covering this middle right here, and then your 2 outside guys covering the flats. So it's extremely versatile. When you have this too high shell. Very, very interesting to see this for the first time. Now, I want to show you guys another thing, right? Now, when we face teams like Kansas City and the Chargers, these are teams that pass the ball at a high volume, at an extremely high volume. So what you see done at that point is then you go into a sub package where you have more defensive backs on the field, a less rusher, a less linebacker, and at that point you overall get faster. And this is what that looks like, right? You would have Trayvon Mullen. Hold on, let me move the banner out the way so you can fully see Trayvon Mullen. When you want to get faster on defense, right, what you could do is then you can go into a dime. This is usually a little bit different. Some like to call this a 2, what is it, a 2-4, some shit like that, but it's a dime. Overall, it's a dime. You only have 2 linebackers, but you have 6 DBs. You have 6 DBs, and you're only rushing 3. You're only rushing 3 with this, so it's something to look at, right? So you have a lot more coverage, a lot more speed for these teams that go 5 wide a lot. When you go 5 wide a lot, you want to have that other defensive back on the field. And in this case, our defensive back room, this is why I'm extremely opposed to trading Trayvon Mullen. This is why I'm opposed to trading Trayvon Mullen. Because when you're forced into this scenario playing the Kansas City Chiefs, when you're forced into the scenario playing the Chargers, you need a good 4th corner to hold his own. Now, you have Rocky Ya-Sin, Nate Hobbs, Anthony Averett, Trayvon Mullen, all starting, being able to line up with, let's look at their squad. What does the Chargers have? They got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. And then they could put a tight end and a slot out on the field, and then we're able to match up with that on all levels, right? The only thing is that you have to make sure that these 3 guys down here are extremely disruptive, right? And this is why you go out and you pay Chandler Jones the money that you pay Chandler Jones, because in situations like this, you still want your three guys to be able to get to the passer, get to the quarterback. Now, there's other things that you can do with this, right? You could put Cleveland Furrow here at the defensive tackle spot, and you can have him rushing from there. But ultimately, right, you have your two best pass coverage linebackers on the field. Some teams would even take out this linebacker and put another safety in at this positions, and at that point it's pretty stacked and loaded with the amount of players that you got on the field in terms of defensive backs. But this is a sub package, right? This is not something that you see every day. But when you're playing teams, like I said, that we have in our division, you'll definitely have times where you'll need to match up with them. You'll need to match up with them. And this still, right? There's a lot of versatility into this just due to the fact that you have a too high safety look. Because you have your too high safety look, you can man match on one side and you can zone coverage on the other. You can do a lot of stuff like this. You can do a lot of stuff like this. And ultimately, I am confident running things like this and schemes like this when you have a teacher like Patrick Graham being able to show this to our young cats, right? So I'm very happy about how this is playing out so far. Like I said, this is something that you won't see too often, but you will see it when we play teams like KC and LA. Even the Rams, when we play the Rams, you'll probably see this. Teams with high powered offenses, you want to be able to match with them player for player in terms of skill position, right? So we'll definitely see that a good amount, enough this season, but for sure you'll see the other stuff that I showed you 110% for a lot of the period of the season, a lot of the length of the season. Like I said, this is our base 3-4. A lot of this stuff is interchangeable, right? You can put Cleveland Furrow here where Bilal Nichols is. It all depends though. It all depends on what we feel that day, what team we're facing. This is our nickel package, right? I know a lot of you guys aren't the fan of Jonathan Abram. Listen, man, the man still had over 110 tackles for the Raiders last year. So let me know what you guys think about this, man. Let me know what you guys think about all this right here. It's the first look of the Raiders defense. I'm definitely excited to see this. It was fun, but there's not much else to look over. There's not much else to look over, Raider Nation. I kind of just wanted to put this out there for those of you guys can see. I know this is typically a longer show, a longer live, but it's not really much to go on. And if you want, I can go into more depth with maybe a guest or something like that later in the future of what coverages can be played out of this. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to go too long with this live today because I just wanted to give you guys a look, right? Ultimately, this isn't the final say. There's a lot of things that can be done. You can go out and get a honey badger. You could possibly go out and get, a Stephon Gilmore. You can possibly go out and get a Calais Campbell. So there's a lot of stuff to look at when you're doing this. At the end of the day, like I said, this isn't all set in stone. I just wanted to give you guys a visual. It's only a 25-minute show, but at the end of the day, I do appreciate all the people that pulled in today. And you guys already know, man, if there's any breaking news that happens later on, I will be here to cover it. I really appreciate everybody who pulled in tonight, but that will be it for the live. This will be more like a video for all you guys who didn't get to come in and see full show. It's not a 2-hour show where you have to go and skip through a lot of the show so that you can really dissect what we talked about. But we went through it quickly so that we can all see and share what this new defense could look like. And ultimately, it went well, in my opinion. I love and appreciate everybody who pulled up tonight. Listen, y'all, if you didn't watch the whole show, pop in. It'll be uploaded on the channel the second I turn this off. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, Raider Nation. But that'll be it for tonight. And I am out, y'all.